Hi, that's Gianpaolo Lorusso speaking for a new edition of PPC World News Live, the number 68. Here we have today Brandon Doyle, CEO of Wallaroo. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. And we will go around as usual, the top PPC news of the last 2 weeks. Let's start with the hot topic of the period, of course, coronavirus. Here, in this post by Andy Taylor, uh, they are talking about the shifts among different PPC platforms, mainly the main ones, so Google, Facebook, and Amazon. And substantially, they are saying that there have been, we will talk about more specifically on Facebook after, but we had a general budget budget down and CPC down, CPMs down, and only Amazon kept conversion rates similar to the pre-coronavirus period. This is not. This is, of course, preliminary data because it's the end of March, and we'll see afterwards. What do you think about how do you think this will impact on the three platforms? If you have an opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean it's just obviously it's a really interesting time in the world right now, but when we're talking specifically in regards to ads, we've never seen this combination where usage is so much higher than normal. Like that graph that you're on shows, impression growth over the past few weeks, and it's almost double what it normally is. Instagram usage, Facebook usage. We're seeing the same across other platforms like TikTok and Snapchat. But the combination of increase in usage and decrease in cost due to many advertisers pulling out of the auction has just created this convergence of, for companies that can still advertise right now, a really great opportunity to have, extremely low in relation to the norm CPMs, cost per clicks, and conversion rates we've seen, are pretty much the same. So you're able to, get to a lot more people for a lot cheaper and still convert at the same rate. So, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better scenario than that when it comes to ads.
If
So
if the
it's very
business is,
interesting.
yeah, if the business is open, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So of course, like if it's an e-commerce company, then now is the time to take advantage of this opportunity, or any other type of business that is able to still operate normally right now.
Okay, here is yeah, some real data because this before of course third parties data. Yeah, data from Microsoft, which is in US especially is the second search engine ads provider. And they have they did some specific sector specific reports to let people know what is happening in different fields. Uh, and there is another post I can attract your attention on is by Mark Evine, specifically for Google Ads. Um, and they updated their benchmarks for click-through rates, CPC, conversion rates, and conversion values, um, just for every industry. So one of the things we enlightened before too is the fact that the situation is very different sector from sector. If you speak about e-commerce, you could be um, more optimistic on the situation. If you are if you are referring to a brick and mortar business which is closed, of course the situation is completely different. And here we come to your post, to the post you alerted me on, which is not only data from your customers' e-commerce projects, especially for social ads, of course, but also some provision. What you can add to the to what you wrote in the post?
Yeah. So under the number one right there, data, you can open up the Google Sheet. So we're updating the Google Sheet every day with a bit of a, and that's a screenshot that you're on right now. But yeah, that's the live public Google Sheet. And so we're always a few days behind just because we're waiting for the data to fully come in. But these are year-to-date numbers. So we're not comparing it to, right before coronavirus and right now. These are, numbers from the entire year of 2020, and green means it's very good for the year, and red means, not so good, and white is in the middle. And so as you can see, over the past few weeks, there's a lot of greens. And, the CPMs, like we talked about earlier, they're really low. The cost per clicks are really low. The ROAS is high. Conversion rates, until the last couple of days, they haven't been as good as normal, but in general, they're still quite good. So, numbers across the board are looking very good on paid social. This is specific to Facebook and Instagram.
And e-commerce projects, of course.
Yes, and e-commerce, yes. One thing that's interesting too, we haven't put Snapchat on here. We actually do a lot of Snapchat ads for our clients because the Snapchat throws everything off because it's so much cheaper. So CPMs on Facebook and Instagram right now are around $7, but CPMs on Snapchat right now are about 50 cents. So it's very, very cheap. The conversion rate is typically about half. If a client is or company is advertising on Facebook and Instagram and also Snapchat, whatever conversion rate you get on Facebook and Instagram, you're going to get about half of that on Snapchat. So if you're getting a 3% conversion rate on Facebook, you'll get about 1.5% on Snapchat. But again, you're going from a $7 CPM to a 50-cent CPM. So, it's like 1/14 of the cost. Sure, the conversion rate's half, but obviously the cost makes up for that. So something to definitely check out. And they're doing a lot of ad credits too. Snapchat is to get new advertisers on board. They're giving you free ad spend. So it's another interesting thing that we found. And then in that post, as you scroll down, you'll see lots of links to other resources of companies or like shipping companies that are publishing their data live and showing the trends that they're seeing. So there's a lot of interesting trends right now, both in regards to things related to, of course, like online grocery delivery, takeout, home fitness, lots of stuff around DIY. So there's trends all over the board. So I would urge you to try to find whatever trends are the closest to, your company or your clients and see what data you can get from that.
Okay. What about the predictions? You are doing also some little prediction about looking at the data.
Yeah, so in the US and Europe is pretty similar as well. E-commerce as a percent of retail sales, e-commerce is about 11, it depends on the country, but it's usually between like 9 and maybe 14%. But in China, it's almost 40. So it's very high. It's almost half. Almost half of all retail sales are e-commerce. But right now, due to COVID-19 coronavirus, obviously any retail sales, almost all of them have to be online, right? So we're seeing numbers that are approaching like 80%, 90%. And
yeah,
what
of course, now
is
is not a good benchmark period because the brick and mortar businesses are closed. But you say
right.
this will of course affect also post coronavirus period.
Yeah, because people are building new habits, and people who previously weren't used to buying things online are now having to do that by necessity. So they're starting to see perhaps how easy it is to buy online and how nice it is. And so, whereas before coronavirus, depending on the country you're in North America or Europe, it was between maybe 8 and 14%. It's most likely going to double, if not more, even after coronavirus. It's not just going to go back to what it was. So we don't know, of course, exactly what's going to happen there, but it's going to be a big jump, and it's going to be very interesting to see.
Okay, let's move to another piece of news, or very interesting one, because Microsoft Audience, which is not available globally yet, is in US and the main European countries, is starting to target using using LinkedIn targeting capabilities. And that's very interesting. It's the first time in years that Microsoft is a little step ahead of Google. What would you think about it?
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic for, if you're a B2C and can utilize this, I would highly recommend it. But obviously for B2Bs, where you really want to target employees of specific companies or people with certain job titles, you can do that now in the search engine. And I mean, that's really, really powerful. So I know that just this week we launched a few campaigns doing this. So we're really excited to see how this goes over time.
Yeah, me too. Okay, let's pass to that's a service news. We just recall to everyone that if you want, you can nominate your paid media expert to the ranking PPC or Anapin Marketing is doing every year. Let's move to Twitter ads. Here, a very nice post, a recap of all targeting options of Twitter campaigns. Have you used them, and have you any consideration about it?
Yeah, Twitter, for me personally, Twitter is my favorite social platform. I love Twitter. That's where I get all my news. That's where I've made a lot of friends through Twitter, get a lot of business from Twitter. So I always have a dear spot in my heart for the company. And their ad platform has been gradually improving over time. This is a good post, a very good post on the different options that you can do on the Twitter ad side. And if you haven't tried it, I would recommend trying it. I can't say that it's been great for every client, but it's been, I would say for 2/3 of our clients that we've run Twitter ads for, it's been a pleasant surprise. So it's an auction just like all ad platforms, and generally on Twitter there aren't that many bidders for the audiences that you're going after. So a lot of times it's going to be cheaper. In-stream video views, we've seen that particularly, and promoted video views do very well on Twitter. lately over the past few months. Tweet engagements is actually another really good one. And so, yeah, I mean, I would recommend testing it for you.
Excellent, excellent. Let's move to the last piece of news. This one is a real case history about a test done on different ads types, ads format in Facebook. Yeah, of course, this is a single case. You cannot generalize it to the overall situation on Facebook ads. But what do you think about this specific case history and the results they get?
Yeah, I mean, with this case study, it was pretty clear that the collection ad type was the best winner for this. It was an e-commerce t-shirt company. And I think the important thing to take away from this case study is that this person was, they were testing a variety of different ad types. And that's definitely true with paid social, is you don't know exactly what's going to be the ad or ad type that's going to convert best for your brand until you test them. So from collection to carousel to static image to motion graphic to video, it's important to test all ad types because different ones are going to be good for different types of companies and different brands. But we have seen, this particular person was talking about collections, and we have seen collections perform really well.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Brandon, for being with us today. And let's see, hopefully in Italy in October 15th and 16th. And stay safe.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm excited, looking forward to it, and stay safe as well.
Ciao.
Ciao.